before I start this video, I just want to say that any criticisms I make could be made to me, I suppose. I don't feel like I'm just trying to be clever or anything like that, or try to have some kind of power myself. I mean, I haven't got a megaphone and I don't want one. Anyway, you can imagine sort of, if you like publish every day, you think like, maybe people think that it's projection on my part. I'm convinced it's not. I do reflect too much. Anyway, I want to say this. This is a paper I've written. The video quality on this is poor. I've got the sound better, but not the visual. Right. It's just a really simple paper, but it's deliberately like that to be clarifying. I hate being unclear, and I don't think I ever am educating myself against being unclear. But this is really, really, really designed to be clear, and I get some help from John Lennon in this, which I'm going to play a bit of a video audio from, because he really nails it for me. Anyway, so it's not set out as an essay, it's just been said straight off what I'm thinking. So I say, let's go beyond the insanity of splitting off power-crazy propagandists from society. We're all just people capitalised in caps lock, and the few who identify with these propagandists must be taught that they have fallen for the spell that they cast. No, not a literal spell, obviously. It's just they're presiding over these institutions that are split off from society, and they use megaphones to get to the people. Now they know these megaphones work because the guy you're going to listen to in a minute, Lennon, when he had a megaphone himself as a celebrity, they tried to kick him out of the country. Now, there are millions of flowery, hippie, love and peace people back in the late 60s, early 70s. Well, I won't bother if they say that's free speech for them. If they had a megaphone, then they're undermining the state, especially as there was a Vietnam War on. But I mean, the whole point of being a pacifist is to oppose a war. It's just ridiculous. You're allowed to be a pacifist, they would say, unless, this is the bit they don't say, unless you are as loud as we are and can reach millions of people all over our country, then you've got to get kicked back to Britain. While we're getting on with Watergate scandal, you know, that's not illegal. But I'm glad now that the scandal is on them for Watergate, the scandal's on them for spying on an individual. The scandal isn't on Lennon because they couldn't find anything, so therefore they said, you can stay in the country after all, here's your green card. Anyway, I think like, my heart doesn't bleed for John Lennon. I mean, I think what he says is good stuff, but you know, if he'd been out of Britain, well, he's fair, he'd be fine. He'd have actually saved his life, ironically. But yeah, it's just about how slimy the state superstructure is. That's what that's about, really, for me. And it's a good example using it. Now there are two types of people concerning the state and politics. One group's totally unconscious and identifies with all the propaganda from CNN, WSJ, ABC, CBS, New York Times, BBC, Sky News, and it's just, oh yeah, it must be good because it's the news. and the same people that do that identify with the presidents, with the prime ministers, with everything that's elitist and massive, like Parliament, 10 Downing Street, White House. All of that is just totally sucked up. And the one thing, whereas the other side, consciously aware side, I think, just focuses on this lot, and it's just society, people in train stations, in the cities, walking about, in the shops, in the cafes, etc., 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 etc. It's one set looking at this megaphone elite, and the other sections looking all the time at nurses and doctors and teachers and stuff like that, and just people and the masses. And it's definitely for me the second lot that have conscious, and the first lot looking at the elites that have it's just the same as like having fallen for the spell that has been cast. It's just like that, and I would vanquish, not in a sliced head way like the French Revolution. I would vanquish the Orwellian joke of these split off elites who want the attention, want the power. When they get criticised, they wish they weren't getting it, but they want it really for the rest of the time, whenever that is. And they just hope that you're brainwashed, because that's how they continue. Now, I want to get to Lennon on his brilliant quote, so I'm going to do for me this is a little clever thing with this technology. Who play this? This is brilliant. I love this. I love it.
And I don't believe in that. I don't believe the media are separate from society. I don't believe politicians are separate from society. I don't believe pop stars, football players and movie stars are separate from society. It's just that we've developed this thing for whatever reason that we think we're broken up into these fragmented pieces, countries, sexes, races. It's a joke. It's as Neanderthal as the political system.
Here. I love that. That is absolutely fantastic. It's like, if I'd come up with that myself, I would have written it down and published it. Absolutely. Like, he's plucked my mind before I was already thinking that. And so it's amazing. He just worded it spot on. And I like his, because he's got this Liverpool working class, he gets it across more clearly. There's something about it better than I could ever do. Brilliant, just love it. Love it. And despite his Imagine song, I think he's down to earth. That's all airy-fairy, but it's down to earth what he says when he actually gets talking. It's not all like, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. He's not a dreamer. He's just down to earth. He gets it. It's the insanity of all the fake split from society hierarchy that's such dreamy and off its head and delusional. It's just like we are separate from all you lot, but we hope you lot still like us and that you suck up to us for the rest of time. And it's done for power and control reasons, so they don't educate us that you only believe in this because you watch this news channel. Whereas if you watch this one for a month, that's all down. When you hear about those studies, it's down to academics. It's never the state superstructure admitting that. Never any figure in it admitting that. They just don't want you to hear it, so they never ever mention it. And that's as bad as lying, and it's very deceitful and it's immoral. And like John Lennon says, it's Neanderthal because we think we're modern, because we think we've got some rationality, but that is all insane. It's totally insane. It's just it's crazy because it also causes social relationships to break up. It creates arguments that cause nearly, and it ends up with Trump in power. It ends up nearly with the president trying to start a civil war, nearly crashing the cars in the president's car with a Secret Service. While his wife's blooming even going up to a TV camera thinking it's okay to say, here we go, we're going to start the war now. Doesn't even see anything wrong with it. And then on what she was stirring up then, she was hoping for a massive civil war, but she only got a tiny little one because only about 5 people died. I must say that I suspect a minority of supporting the split-off propagandists over and above the masses they are part of. But I do think that's because they've fallen for the spell that the propagandists cast. I don't think it's because they have disowned the masses. I think they're just confused. Let's listen to John again, because that was brilliant.
It don't work, it just doesn't work. Because we put them up on the pedestal and immediately want to knock them off. It is too much invested in one man, one group. And I don't believe in that. I don't believe the media are separate from society. I don't believe politicians are separate from society. I don't believe pop stars, football players and movie stars are separate from society. It's just that we've developed this thing for whatever reason that we think they are, that each were broken up into these fragmented pieces, countries, sexes, races. It's a joke. It's as Neanderthal as the political system.